And our mics are live. Let's go with good old me and Mac as the starting screen. And of course, good old stream finished on YouTube. Look at us go. Our first 2 minutes, our first 7 minutes on YouTube. There we are. All right. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Good night. Well, we had to test it live because testing it, in any other way was not going too well for me. I would have just sent out announcements and all that anyways. So here we are. I'm using this tool, Restreamer. And the thing about Restreamer is it runs in a Docker, and it lets you stream to it from OBS, and then it sends out your streams to all the places you'd like to send them. So it's a pretty neat setup, and it has multiple types of streams: HLS, SRT, RTMP, the old schoolest. And the author of it said that I was using HLS, and that will always introduce about 8 seconds the way his software works. Switch to RTMP and we'll be fine. I switched to RTMP, and of course we were not fine. So is what it is. Oh my God. Hi, everybody. Alistair, Ricardo, and of course, good old Splendid Spoon. Been too long. So, we have it working again. Let's see. Because we just went through all that, let me look at a couple things over here. It looks like everything is where it's supposed to be. All right. Although, I gotta say that looks like it's lying to me. Hello. So let's look and see if I'm being lied to by this software now that I did that. It is highly possible that I am. Video, VODs. It is definitely lying to me, everybody, just so you know. Well, I get the feeling like I need to restart OBS here for this thing to work, and I don't want to. So we're just going to go forward as we are. Very subjective measurement. What are we looking at? Yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy right now where I don't know where this lag is coming from, because maybe it wasn't Restreamer if everyone's still getting that time there. Don't know. That's what we're gonna say. Don't know. But on my preview, it's down from the 9 seconds that we thought we had down to like what I think is 4 maybe. So I'm gonna live with that for the moment, and I will do more optimizing over the weekend. What I've done is in OBS now, I've got the Atom plugin running. And this plugin allows you to record a vertical version of every stream that you've built out. So it looks good on things like Instagram, on TikTok, and all the other vertical platforms. And that way you don't have to then go into some video editor and make the vertical version out of your horizontal version. So every scene that's in OBS has a vertical version of that scene that's already built out. And I think they look pretty good. So the button I click to tell that to start recording the vertical one currently says it's on and says it is recorded exactly 0.00. And there's no file in the folder it's supposed to be recording in. Now, I recorded with it yesterday and it recorded fine. So what I'm going to say is I think it broke when I did all the other stuff we just did here testing the other thing. But Atom is awesome. I freaking love that software. Okay, well, let's just kind of get right into things. How is everyone doing in chat now that we're past all of that part of it? Is it too bright? I actually have the lighting way down for me. Like, I can definitely make it bright. I mean, that's medium. That's high. You want to see bright? Oh my God! I am now in the sun.
Full daylight.
I do think we should probably drop it back down to where it was. Woo! Okay, my eyes are readjusting here. There we are. Oh, the lighting in the house. Yes. Hi, Mom of Kurt. Haven't seen you in a long time. Yeah, the room lighting is definitely, I don't know. I like it bright. I like colorful, as you can kind of see. I'm just, it's just kind of how I am. You know, I go to all these events now with a lot of people who like to black block up, and I'll tone it down as best I can. But normally going outside, I like bright colors. Just who I am. I'm not going to a Palestine Action one dressed in these bright purples or pinks or yellows that I wear. I will definitely black block up on that stuff. Because, well, shit,
we know how that goes.
That last group got $45,000 in bail in New Hampshire there from the Elbit one. Watching all of that happen, that was crazy. Glad they all got out. We'll see where that goes next. There is another Palestine Action, but this one is a mass day of action. Not something, like those ones or like Palestine Action UK does, where they literally like get on the buildings. It is going to be December 8th in Bath, Maine. This has been announced, so I can say it aloud. But yeah, it'll be probably like noonish there, and then as long as people want to stay. There's not much else to do there, so everyone should be able to figure out where and what. There are announcement graphics that I think are going to get posted tomorrow, so. Ooh, breaking news. Yeah. I'm glad I'm back too. Just slowly getting back into things, trying to figure out what times work, get software set up. Like, it is tough. I'm going to switch from what I have going on, and I'm going to go back to the headphones here for a second so I can hear things and hear what you guys are hearing. So, look at that. Look at the resub. 14 months. Thanks, Tucking. I have gotten monitor speakers now, so I have these things if they want to come over here. These things. They're monitor speakers, and the idea is that I can take these, I can actually plug them into the system here, and I won't have to wear the headphones. We'll be able to hear everything, but because the Rodecaster is what's powering the speakers, it knows what to remove from the mix, so we don't hear echoes and things. So hopefully I can turn these monitors on over the weekend as I get it built out a little and get them kind of set where they're going to go, and then not have to wear headphones the whole time. Look at this. Another gift sub. Thanks. Oh, that's another thing. Hey, Vassar, Tucking, everyone. If you're a mod in this chat, as I figure out the YouTube stuff, we're definitely going to have to get that going. I need to add mods there. I think Tucking is an administrator on the YouTube, but that does not make them a moderator. How are you doing, Mac?
I'm doing well.
Lauren in the chat is asking.
Yes, I see that. Doing well.
I have a bunch of green text up on my screen that I don't know what it's doing there, and we're just going to allow it to stay there because whatever. I'm sure, again, that is all related to what I did to get the stream started as I broke everything. Yeah, definitely a directional microphone and all that. This one can be set up in that regard, but the Rodecaster, since it's handling the microphone, the monitors, the headphones, the computers, this thing's nuts. It is basically the sound device for my Mac, my PC, the phone that's actually my recorder thinks it's sound device as well. And then it will be powering the headphones. It's powering Mac's headphones way across the room over there. The wire is about 40 feet long to get the TRS cable all the way over to his headphones. and then it's going to power the monitors here. And because it's handling all of that, it has all the software and hardware built in to do like mix minus and all the other things. So it'll be fun to see how that works out. I'm going to play with that in some recording over the weekend. The thing I'm waiting on is the little stands to take them up off the desk, because there's no more room on the desk for anything to sit here. I have too much stuff on my desk. But yes, that is us. How's your week been, Mac? What have you been up to?
Oh, the usual work and keeping up on current events.
Pretty much the same thing you always do.
Yeah.
I also get to see you like every week, on Tuesdays too. So like chat sees you once. I get to hang out with you twice.
It's true.
It is true. One day chat will want their second day back again. They'll start asking for it. I have to hydrate a lot. I don't know how long my voice is going to last, chat. So I spent the last 2 days recording for a documentary episodic thing they do in Germany. I think it's called Inside. I don't know. Tucking Fipos in the chat did more research on who the hell they were before we recorded, and actually came up and visited and was part of the fun recording. Tucking is actually quite fun to have around with the Flipper Zero skills. And recording a documentary about some of the anonymous stuff, about hacking, about trolling, about all that, having a couple of Flipper Zeros around with someone who knows how to use them makes it a little more entertaining. But, of course, that also means I talked for like 10 hours each of the last 2 days, all day long, most of it outside in the cold, because they wanted a lot of outside shots. And, I could barely talk last night, so I let my voice rest a lot today. I don't think you have that problem, Mac.
No, not so much.
Oh.
Having not spent 10 hours a day the last couple of days talking to people outside.
Whew. Looks like it's going to be a fun documentary, though. They interviewed us over the last 2 days. Then today they interviewed Gabriella Coleman, because she's up here where I am now, too. She's teaching over at Harvard. And so hopefully this goes well. One of the interesting things about this is the third German crew I filmed with. Every one of them say, well, we don't want anyone to go to jail or anything, but like what can we do on screen that like we could get away with? And then they ask, what about this? And then when you tell them the things and where the line might be and what we could get away with, like, messing with things, light stuff, nothing that anyone's going to, call the cops on you for. Then they're like, well, what if you did this extra step? And then you tell them that extra step actually triggers the CFAA. So I would like to not do that. The Germans always ask you to break those laws. They asked me and Tucking like 20 times to do things that would have definitely been felonies if anyone got mad about it. Not that I believed the things they were asking for were going to lead exactly to that, but we made sure to avoid actually doing those. I think we still got a lot of cool stuff on footage. We got a lot of things done, a lot of trolling out there in the real world, so that was fun. I think this series is focused on a lot of things like secret societies, secret groups, how they come together. I do really think I broke a lot of stuff with the way we started the stream, man, because stuff is just, see, you guys were chatting in chat and it was not showing me that you were chatting. Wow. Just wow. Look at all that I missed. Okay, there we go. Yes. Oh boy, another hacker documentary. Yeah, okay. I think I have things reset at this point.
On the bright side, the delay is like half of what it was.
Yeah. We actually also, funny enough, just because it was us filming at the time that it happened, they announced their 25th year anniversary. And so, like, in the shot of them all, like, on going live while we were recording, they did a little Instagram, like, live thing saying happy birthday. Like, I'm there wearing the Guy Fawkes mask saying happy birthday to, like, their audience for, like, the 25th year anniversary for this show that, I've known the guys for all of, like, a combined 15 hours at that point. It was a lot of fun, though. I enjoyed them. They were fun people to be around. I learned a few things. One One of the interesting things I learned while I was there was the sound guy. Awesome guy. We had a lot of fun. Great. Surprised he doesn't play basketball. Dude was 6 inches taller than me. The cameras that were being used are actually his personal. And so he financed the two cameras. And then every show he's done since as the sound guy, he's brought them for them to use. And he charges them $100 a day rent while they're doing it. And he's been able to keep that up so much that his payments are all made by the show he's working on. So he's getting normal pay from being there, but also they're buying his cameras for him. So now he just owns these like really nice brand new modern cameras. Like there was a Red and a Sony FX3, and like he just owns these now because the shows are renting them from him while they're on set. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I did not know that's how that worked. It's a perfect business plan, right? Camera landlord. Hey, anyone in the
he's
chat
doing labor and renting it back to the actual money.
Right?
It's like reverse landlord.
Reverse landlord. Okay. Wait? Is that the guy who evicts you? Like what?
No.
What is a reverse landlord?
It's the workers owning the means of production and charging the capitalists to allow them to use it.
I've spent too much time around people who won't shut up about that in the last few weeks. As some people know.
Look, I won't say that there aren't people that talk about it too much, but society as a whole doesn't say it enough.
Agreed entirely. Yeah. No, so chat, does anyone know, or even you, Mac, like I didn't ask you this one. I was asked yesterday by someone, just a friend in one of the other activist groups, was there an equivalent of ACAB, for landlords? And I drew a blank. I don't know of a little acronym like that for landlords.
Yeah, the closest I got is Eat the Rich. I don't know of an acronym for it, though.
I don't know if he wanted a tattoo of it or something. I don't know why he was asking. Good times. Okay. You guys want to get into some of the fun stuff?
Homie, no. I'm sorry, but the correct one is Land Leech.
Land Leech? Leech Lord? I like these. These are good. These are good. But no acronym. Because ALAB just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I need to hit the right button. I'm going to do the one that puts my screen up and me and you. I believe I've hit the right button. Let's find out. That will become muscle memory at some point. Right? Haha. There it is. Portia, how's it going? Homie, everybody. Lynch the landlord. Yes. Okay, we've got chat. We've got me. Chat is... so I did some software updates, OS updates and everything else while OBS was still running, and it's connected to a lot of things that use NDI for network, video and audio and whatnot. And don't do that, because a lot of these cameras and even the chat box for some damn reason, everything resized, moved around, went all out of skew and shit. So I had to kind of do a lot of resetting. So what I've learned is turn OBS off when you start system updates. Smart move. Hello, everybody. So let's just talk about the fun stuff. We kind of have this pattern we've been building up. I think you've seen, chat, where we kind of talk about stupid shit. We slowly move ourselves into some more heavy shit. And then me and Mac talk about the real heavy shit. So I want to start with being confused by a casting. Are you guys ready for this one? Because they're doing a Minecraft movie. And it's being directed by Jared Hess from Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre. Oh. So one, that definitely makes no sense. But, hey, I liked the other two movies, so sure. But the casting that blows my mind is Jason Momoa will be playing Minecraft Steve.
Huh.
Now, to me, I would have cast Nick Offerman, personally. That handyman-looking dude.
I guess it depends on where you're going with it. But yeah, I I could see it either. Honestly, I wouldn't have guessed Jason Momoa,
right?
But I can see it. Like if they want, there's like a certain direction they want that to go.
It's definitely crazy, and it's being done by Warner Brothers and Legendary, so it's got a budget. They're. I mean, we'll see what they do with it, but just I don't see Jason Momoa as Steve. That one is weird to me. Yeah, who plays Herobrine? I mean, I'd rather watch Jason Momoa too in that regard, but I'd rather listen to Nick Offerman talk.
That's fair.
Yeah. He reads his own audiobooks, versions of his books, and they're great. So I don't know. I thought that was a weird one. How about this one? Another check in the old box for piracy. Stop buying media from these damn platforms. Mm-hmm. If you're a PlayStation user and you bought any TV shows on it and they happen to belong to Disney, Discovery TV, which is, basically all of Warner Brothers at this point, you're going to lose them all. They're all going to get deleted and you're lost access to them, even though you paid for them. Mm-hmm. What is this, the 100th time that's happened? Something like that?
Something close, at least.
So I still highly recommend sailing the high seas.
Indeed.
Because literally this. Damn it. Or, of course, you've got the Netflix problem where shows just keep disappearing. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's the other one that I just... so if you've got that also and there's anything on there that you're about to lose, remember to replace it, again, by probably sailing those high seas. How about this one? A lucid dream startup says engineers can write code in their sleep. So they are working on technology that will induce lucid dreaming in anyone who can't do it on their own. Now, sure, this could be a pipe dream. Their studies seem to say that, they're actually on course to do this. People have been trying to do this for, ever. In the last 20 years, there's been all kinds of technological doodads, from little masks you wore that like played patterns of light and whatnot, trying to do it, to things you wore in your hands that like played with your fingers. And there's been tons of stuff. There's even been like, homeopathic crap to do it, right? But this company looks like in testing right now with wider audience, they are actually able to induce lucid dreaming. And their goal is, what if you could also write code while you're dreaming? And I've got to say, like, my dream is not to be working.
Yeah, right.
Like, the only way this works for me is if that means I'm working in my sleep and then I get to do whatever I want while I'm awake.
The rest of the time.
If this replaces my 9 hours,
right?
Then hey, fine. But if their idea is, hey, you could be working double time, hustle culture, let's get 2 jobs, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, burn them to the ground.
See, I do solve some problems. By the time I wake up, I'll realize the solution to a problem that could have happened overnight, whatever. But literally actually being able to think that you're sitting at a computer writing code and then wake up and know that code and be able to go put it down. Maybe they're talking about in the future using a BCI, like a brain-computer interface also. So then you're lucid dreaming and a BCI and you could actually freaking write code. But I think the whole idea here is dystopian. In the end, they're trying to say, hey, you can work while you sleep, too. We're going to get 24 hours out of you.
You definitely can see that that's exactly the direction they would 100% take it, given the opportunity, too.
Yes, maybe this is how your Tesla will be making you money. Because it's sure not Ubering people around. Then we've got, of course, this one. A Brazilian city enacts an ordinance that was secretly written entirely by ChatGPT. So the city of Porto Alegre, one of their councilmen, Ramiro Rosario, brought a bill to them, an ordinance, about prevent the city from charging taxpayers to replace water consumption meters that were stolen. So the city was, charging people if their device got stolen. I don't see how that's their fault. So this guy writes a bill to stop it. It passes. Great. That's good for the people. He didn't tell anyone on the council that he wrote the entire thing just by asking ChatGPT. He didn't even edit the output. He just asked it for the bill and then proposed it and then submitted the text. So I'm guessing they also didn't read it for errors. So a ChatGPT bill passed.
And who knows what it actually does?
Yeah, who knows literally what's in there. Let's see. I think some of the prompting is revealed down here, but not the entire prompting. But yeah, just so ChatGPT is now writing bills. And being that most of our politicians are morons, some of them here in America are probably going to start doing this too.
Oh, yeah. On the bright side, usually at least for like state and federal legislators, they usually have a staff of people.
Yes, the aides do the work.
That do actually read, at least split up and divide up the bill so that someone can read it. But yeah, still, I expect that some city governments will pass some very bad ordinances as a result.
Right? You just don't know what's hidden in there. Suddenly a random paragraph about some other story, because now you can convince it to give you its training data too. I don't know if any of you have watched that, but literally if you tell ChatGPT to repeat one word 1,000 times, it'll get about halfway through that it'll just randomly start spitting out actual training data that was used to train it. Just the full training data will just start coming out. So if you did that enough, you could probably get a lot of the training data, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're going to have that cleaned up by tomorrow. Yes, you're a tonal soul, indeed. The next one, of course, is AI. Meta will enforce a ban worldwide, every nation, on political ads being powered by AI. So they can't be used to create them. They can't be used to better target them. They can't be used to manage the campaign. You are not allowed to use AI for political ads. You can use AI for pet toy ads. You can use AI for food ads, but not for political ads. And you know what? They're going to do it anyways. And this isn't going to stop shit. So
yeah,
I'm not sure what the point is.
To
exactly,
give
Amanda.
The impression that they care.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those moments where they're just trying to show us, oh, we care, we care, no.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, it's absolutely going to do basically nothing and will not make any meaningful difference. But on the other hand, with our alternate example of how Twitter is being run, we do see just how bad it is when they don't even put up the pretense. So I guess the minimal props there, congratulations, you did the literal bare minimum.
Well, speaking of Twitter and its owner, Elon, great move to the next one. Amazon has hired SpaceX and signed the contract to launch their Project Kuiper satellites. So SpaceX, owned by Elon, who owns their own satellite internet company, is now going to be launching Amazon's internet company. 3 total shots up. And what's interesting is I think this is a cover my ass moment for Elon, because he tweeted this out. He tweeted out, SpaceX launches competitor satellite systems without favor to its own satellites, fair and square. I believe this is him trying to fight off the idea that he might be monopolizing things here.
Yeah, probably.
Because he also seems to think that Amazon's actual platform will suffer and fail anyways, and that his will win. So, but yeah, this is. I thought it was just funny when I saw this come across that SpaceX is launching Amazon's internet stuff. Before we move on to some of the heavier stuff, I wanted to show some of my more security-minded friends here a neat little toy they can play with for how long, I don't know, unless they pay for it. But this is a new toy that I found last week, and it is called Browserling. And when I load up Browserling with the correct link, which I'll paste in the chat there, this web browser here is a Windows 10 operating system running the latest Chrome, I can switch to Firefox if I want. So I can go up to Firefox. And this web browser is running on a machine that was spun up, only lasts for the time that this is running, and then disappears. And this machine and your session only lasts for 3 minutes before it gets closed. So if you were to load this up, on a laptop somewhere over a VPN and then onto this system and do whatever you want, nothing's filtered. I tried. I went to a lot of URLs that if anyone was filtering anything, you would not have been allowed to go to. This thing's freaking great. And it's even like, it's this great. You can actually come over here and you can go to add-ons just for the 3 minutes that you're here that you want it. And you can actually even install add-ons. So you can go over and get uBlock up and running on this thing. And so you can just come right over here, add uBlock, say add, get it going. And now you're on a remote copy of this that is not being logged on an OS that gets destroyed. And if you did this from a VPN in a private window on a laptop that didn't know who you were from a Starbucks, it's a nice little add-on to the toolkit. Now, if you pay them, then you can do a lot more stuff, and that's more for like browser testing, because you can switch to Windows 11, Windows 8, Windows 7, Vista XP, Androids. You can switch to like all these other systems, and you can switch to then like Edge, other versions of Chrome, Opera, Brave. Right now, if I tried to switch to one of them, it'll switch to like the older versions, but if I switch to the newest version, it will tell me no. It'll say pay me. Which is just this premium plan. But for free, you get these unlimited 3-minute sessions. Like, I think this is easily the 100th freaking session I've tried to launch. And it doesn't stop you from relaunching right afterwards. So if you're doing a lot of research or anything else, just get, steps done in 3 minutes. Copy and paste is right here. And you can copy and paste in and out of it so you can remember where you were last time. Anyone using it for porn, I mean, if you can't finish in 3 minutes, you haven't explored your body enough. So, we're going there. You can do a lot of fun stuff here. You can take screenshots. You can do all kinds of things. But Browserling here is freaking awesome. I am enjoying this thing. I've already used it for a few fun things. And this is the URL to pop up the Chrome one. You'll see here, time to upgrade to premium because your 3 minutes is up. And then I go up here and I hit enter again. You're number one in the queue and you're back in. So like, it's not stopping me. And these little virtual machines, I think they're like LXD, just, little containers that get spun up and don't save anything to disk or anything. So it's kind of neat. I like it. It is, of course, for a company that wants you to be a web developer using this for testing your website on many different platforms, blah, 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 blah. It's got better uses than that. That's how I see it. So anyways, so there's a nice, neat little new toy for everyone. I want to move on to this one because I always love it when someone like, I don't know how to better put this, like just lives their morals, And I'm sure everyone in here knows who KitBoga is. The, scam baiter himself, the scam fighter, all that fun stuff. Everyone I know loves his YouTubes, right? And his live streams and all the other stuff as he goes over all the various scammers who, for the most part, target old people in America. And KitBoga has started a company and a piece of software that you can install on grandma's computer. And this software is called Seraph Secure. And this software is literally $2 a month per device. And it will alert you if grandma messed up. So it does browser monitoring for all the types of sites that would be downloading certain remote desktop software. It does monitoring for the executables of remote desktop and remote control software. It monitors for a bunch of other types of remote connections and all the scam websites. And so anytime those happen, it does block what it can, which is, a lot, because they only use, 4 or 5 tools like AnyDesk and, the 4 or 5 they always stick to, right? So this is going to block most things, and then it's going to alert you just in case it didn't. So you can call up your family member, your friend, whoever you might think needs this, because it alerted you, and you can go through and make sure they didn't make any major mistakes. Or if they're in the middle of making a major mistake, you've called and interrupted the mistake because this alerts you in real time. So go KitBoga, right? Like, this is amazing. I freaking love it.
Yeah.
What I also think is amazing is he hasn't put his name anywhere on this. He talked about it once on his social media, and that was it. Like, you don't see Kit anywhere on the front of this. He's not using this to push himself. This is just all about what it does. And that's just awesome.
Yeah.
Like you can see the screenshot here. Dad, are you okay? Seraph just notified me. Yeah, Seraph caught it. I got an alert. Calling you now. Like, you can be a little more proactive on this stuff. So if any of you have family members who you would like to protect, I wish I was sponsored or something, because I'm going to push the hell out of this thing. It's awesome. Seraph Secure is the name of this thing. Whew. What does chat think about that one? Yeah, that price is amazing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, whew. So, how about this one, chat? The Geocities gallery. Do you see this? Right here? This person got almost all of Geocities before it went down forever ago.
Wow.
And it's all here, and it's all in its like groupings, and then it's like subgroupings. What were these things called?
Oh,
The content neighborhoods.
Yeah, neighborhoods.
Neighborhoods.
Right.
So you can go into like a neighborhood, like the Athens atrium here. What is this? And then here are people's freaking Geocities sites, and you can actually click through. And look at this animated GIF here. Isn't this freaking beautiful? You can go through, and if you had a Geocities site, it's probably here if you can remember what neighborhood and street you were on. This is another one of those that I just think is absolutely wild. Yeah, so I'm going to put the link in the chat if anyone actually wants to go find their old Geocities page. This shit is nuts. Sports and recreation. The Enchanted Forest in the Cottage. Here we are. The Queen of Cups. Sure. Just all these animated GIFs everywhere. I thought it was amazing. Yeah, it has, as you can see, a lot of the images. Like, there are a few sites where there's just some of the images are gone. But I will tell you, if my browser and OS allowed it, which I don't let them, any of these that even had like background music playing, the background music is there and it auto plays if you've allowed your browser to do that shit to you. Yeah, this is just insanity. Like, if you want to just dive through some history for some old nostalgia's sake and find some stuff you used to be into, it is all here. Utter insanity. I thought people might like that one. Whew. I don't know what this one is, but we can get on to some of the more fun stuff of the day. Chad, are you ready for all the heavier topics? Because this is my favorite tweet about Kissinger. Punk's not dead, but Reagan, Thatcher, and fucking Kissinger are. My favorite tweet from the whole day of his death. His death should be celebrated as an international holiday.
It de facto is, given all the countries where it effectively is a national day of celebration.
Yeah, a national day of mourning in most of them.
Well, no, like the days that he was involved in their countries are the national days of mourning. The day that he died is the national.
Oh, day of celebration. Yes. I'm quite sure Cambodia, Laos, and a few other places should set up monuments to his death.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure a bunch of them will.
Slate them.
I mean, I just
yes.
I will say I broke out the celebration scotch. I have 3 different types of scotch currently. I broke out the good stuff for Kissinger's death.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm feeling it.
I was very happy about that, and I was very pleased by not all, but many of the news headlines, and some of the satire sites had some great stuff. The Onion had several good articles. What was it? Iconic napalm rights activist dead at 100.
Yes.
And then the Hard Drives had the Hard Times had a fantastic one. Henry Kissinger dies of broken heart due to temporary Gaza ceasefire.
God damn it, dude. I am so glad he's dead. I wish he would have died 50 years ago. I understand.
Yeah, I'd have settled for 50.
I just understand
Twice,
like people saying like, don't celebrate that. Don't
No.
But him, no. This one we celebrate.
Yeah.
This one we celebrate.
Yeah, no, he is one of America's worst war criminals. Absolutely, he deserves to be spoken of in the same sentence as names like, Pol Pot or Stalin or Hitler.
Yes,
because he
absolutely.
killed millions, or is not personally, but is responsible for.
Well, Hitler also didn't kill them personally.
But
he didn't stand there and pull the trigger on every one of them.
But I mean,
Kissinger is, no better.
But you could order.
Not saying that you're arguing that he is. Just saying that,
Like, yeah, I agree, Budo. He it's not like I would put it past him per se, but when you attribute deaths to Kissinger to get to millions, you're dealing with multiple genocides where he actively enabled them and like supported the person that carried them out, but it wasn't his government that carried it out, and he wasn't like the mastermind of that one. If you're limiting it to the sort of his direct crimes, you'd be in the hundreds of thousands, but not millions. But he enabled millions, so he's still not better. It's just what degree of responsibility.
Some of that's down to the population size of the places that he was responsible
That's very
for.
True.
Laos and Cambodia, were not the size of, say, China if he had done it there.
Yes, exactly. And,
or, that one that never happened, Grenada,
yes.
Never happened, according to them, according to Thatcher,
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Indeed.
Another one, this one isn't just another on the list of fun things. Today, Walmart suspended their Twitter advertising.
Yes.
And just another nail in the coffin. But William, who you guys might remember from our last show, came on like in the first few days of GME and, Wall Street Bets and all that fun that happened to explain it all to us. He is keeping up a wonderful graphic of everyone who has stopped their advertising due to all of this. And of course, he has added Walmart somewhere in there. I looked earlier. I didn't see it, but he says it's in there. Maybe we have to expand. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that's great. That is great.
Oh, boy, yeah.
I mean, I want to say, like, there's a few on here that I don't think are on here because they're good people.
Oh, I don't think most.
Like most of them.
Yeah, I think very few
but
of them
I think
are
they've made a good choice here.
Yes.
Like, say, Oracle.
Yeah.
Don't like them.
No.
Not
and
a fan.
They were not they were in the like.
Although I will say GameStop. GameStop, good guy. Good guy, GameStop.
But Oracle was in the like. I was going to talk about anyway the
go fuck yourself moment.
I was, but
which is up on screen right now.
Yes, no, but I was going to say the Media Matters thing that came out, which I was also going to talk about.
Yes,
but Oracle was one of the first companies mentioned there, and they were not one of the first ones to pull their ads. So I think that says something about Oracle
yes.
there.
Took them a few days,
but it's nice that they finally got on board.
I'm just, again, OBS is, the way we started the stream today, it is in a state where things are weird, and I'm going to click a button now and see if maybe we are good again. Sure is still broken. Yep. Okay. Cool. That button I told you about earlier, where it said it was recording, and the button turns into red and has the numbers on it, still says it's recording 000 seconds. Anyways, it had gone back to a regular button for some reason. So I thought I could click it and maybe it'd work this time. I think I might need to reboot this system.
That is a possibility.
But you can see me, you can see the screen, you can see Max, so we're good for now.
Indeed.
Ugh. I mean, that moment when he just said, go fuck yourself. Again, they hadn't put a delay in because they thought they could have a billionaire on TV and they wouldn't need a delay.
Right?
Like, $10,000, right? Every time you say fuck on national TV, it's a $5,000 fine.
Yep.
So...
I actually thought that that part was hilarious, but I thought that perhaps even it wasn't quite as wild as the part immediately preceding it, where he tried to call it blackmailing him.
Yep.
Like, people not wanting to do business with you is not blackmailing you, fucker. What the shit?
Indeed. He did look pretty rough, although I will say, not defending him, but just calling out some people who were being bastards. Because, like, I don't know, it's weird to me. There were a bunch of people who were joking about the fact that he must be on estrogen based on the way he looked, and that he must be, changing his name shortly. And I just think trans jokes should just be kind of off the table in that way.
Yeah.
Even if you hate the guy. But I was told by one of my trans friends that they thought those were funny, so I just don't know anymore. But it felt bad to me that those jokes were being made.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't seem.
Let's see if any of them are still up, because a lot of people were. That one is just him yelling about other people. Yep.
I mean, there was definitely the Daily Show made some sort of joke about him having a brand new face, or something implying plastic surgery, which for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So that seemed a little more appropriate.
So yeah. Anyways, my favorite tweet about Kissinger though, when I saw this go by, I was like, "Yep, nope, you nailed it. Perfect." Done. Don't need any others.
I will say I was very, very upset to learn one thing about the death of Henry Kissinger. I learned that he is going to be buried at Arlington National Cemetery, which is going to make it a lot harder to piss on his grave.
Oh, excuse me. Undeserved. Not the pissing on his grave, the getting buried, in a place of supposed honor.
Yes. Well, indeed. He's already tarnished every other thing about honor. Didn't he get he was a recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize. I think he got the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He's basically tarnished every other type of honor that we had. So why not Arlington?
Indeed. Yeah, insulin is still very expensive, although California has worked on some caps. And Cost Plus Drugs by Mark Cuban has stated they are working on insulin, and they hope to have it soon. So prices will come down on it, especially if Cuban actually does get it made. That one, he hadn't given a time period. It was just during an interview. He said, we're working on it. So I didn't look any more into that. If anyone wants to, they can. I'm still very mad at Mark Cuban this week. As everyone knows, I like sports, and I'm from Dallas. And Mark Cuban owns the Dallas Mavericks, my favorite sports team, followed closely by the Dallas Cowboys. Everyone can boo now. But he sold the majority stake of the Dallas Mavericks this week to Marion Adelson, Sheldon Adelson's wife, a widow.
Widow, yeah.
And for $3.5 billion, but he keeps control of the team and gets to still run all basketball ops. So his job doesn't change, and he gets $3.5 billion in the bank. But now a far right winger who Trump gave the presidential medal to who funded a lot of Trump's campaign and a lot of other far-right stuff, like the Heritage Foundation and America First and all these other horrible groups.
The Adelsons have been doing at this for decades.
Yeah,
too.
they are horrible. They own the Sands business group, which owns, of course, casinos and a big part of the Strip in Vegas. The reason Cuban did it is he wants them to use their money to turn the Mavericks Stadium in downtown Dallas into a hotel casino resort with a new stadium in the dead center of it. And it takes their level of money to convince the state of Texas to allow gambling, basically. So he was near the end of the list when it comes time to eat the rich for me personally, if I was putting them in order, because of cost plus drugs. But this moved him up the list a little for me. We've seen what happens when far right-wingers own basketball teams, you know. They end up getting sold to people like Steve Ballmer because they've said something horrible. Although I will say the DeVos family owns the Orlando Magic NBA team, so they've somehow been able to keep their mouths shut in a way where the league doesn't have to tell them to sell the team. Indeed. So, I'm kind of upset with Cubes. I had him at the end of the Eat the Rich list, and now he's moved up a little. But Cost Plus Drugs is still amazing.
Yeah.
We've got Sandra Day O'Connor has passed away. How about that one?
Yeah, I mean, I have mixed feelings.
I am completely conflicted, as you can tell by my kind of silence. She was brought in by Reagan as this conservative that he thought would be a conservative stalwart and do the things that, you know, the GOP wanted. And she moved basically to what was center then, which now seems like a pipe dream.
Yeah.
But she protected abortion rights. She didn't go with the GOP party line pretty much like regularly.
Yeah.
She also didn't go, you know, as far, say, left as we might want.
I mean, not even like 5% as
Yeah,
far,
like, so, like...
She was...
the things she protected were mostly about women's rights.
Yes. So,
some civil rights stuff, too.
Yes.
So, like, you know, a lot of, like, the affirmative action stuff with college and whatnot. But, yeah, so conflicted because some of the other things she's done and... I mean, I don't trust any Reagan appointees personally.
Oh, no. Yeah, nor should you. There are a few that somehow turned out okay, like despite his best efforts.
Right?
But you cannot count on that at all.
I honestly think at this point, half of the Republicans from like, say, 70 to 85 in that range, we would actually think aren't even centrists. We would think are slightly to the left of them all.
Yeah. No, that's certainly true. And I mean... even like, you know, William Rehnquist was originally the far right of the court. And then by the time late in his career, he's left of center for the Supreme Court.
It's nuts. Thanks for the follow there, Jacob. Good. Yeah, no, so lost another one. She, of course, had retired like all the way back in like 05, 06 something, like because her husband had Alzheimer's and she needed to take care of him. But she hasn't been around for a while, but she was definitely interesting. I mean, the main reason I think Roe v. Wade even survived until recently was Sandra Day O'Connor.
That is a distinct possibility.
And so that's why I always feel conflicted, because there were some real big moments in her career where even though she was a Republican, she did the right thing.
Yeah.
Now, those were rare moments.
Yes, it's not like I would say, like, on average.
No, on average, she did not do things I liked. But in those big, groundbreaking moments where things could go really wrong for the country, she seemed to at least do enough to not let that happen.
You know, some of the cases there were there were definitely some exceptions there.
She's a tough one, very tough one. Let's see here. What do we got next? Oh, yeah, we got Santos being expelled.
Yes.
So, all expected, all what we thought was going to happen, except for the fact that 2 Democrats voted no.
Yeah, I mean,
Virginia and Georgia.
Yeah, one of them, I'm not entirely surprised by. So the two that
Bobby Scott.
no,
Nikema?
so yeah, you wouldn't think it if you're just familiar with her politics broadly.
Yeah.
But if you look at what they actually said on the subject, when they were talking about the previous vote to expel him,
Yep.
Bobby Scott had justified it saying, quote, absent any report or recommendation from the committee or a criminal conviction, these resolutions are premature for the sake of the institution. We must stop cheapening the cheapening of the censure and expulsion processes for political expediency and get back to the process that we already have in place to appropriately deal with these matters, end quote.
I agree with that.
I mean, he was also talking about the censure of Rashida Tlaib. So
yeah, absolutely. And I agree with that. Absolutely.
Although I sort of agree with him. I don't think it's...
No, I agree with it on the grounds that if they can follow process in that way and then get to the point where the committee, which was led by Republicans, actually gave that recommendation, then the Democrats are more covered for when the Republicans try and do it without the committee.
I mean...
Which they're going to do now.
Of course, but it takes 2/3 votes to expel. So
of course.
I'm not...
It just gives them the political capital to
that.
argue in the future.
Oh, of course, but
What did Nikema say though? It's down here somewhere.
So yeah,
always side on giving power to the voters. She didn't want to take the vote away from all the people who voted to put him in office, but all of those people were duped.
Yeah, they were literally lied to about almost everything. So the quote I had from her previously that was. About on the topic was, unfortunately, George Santos won a free and fair election, and elections have consequences. He has also not yet been convicted of a crime, and the ethics investigation is ongoing. It would be dangerous to set the precedent of expelling a member of Congress who has not been convicted of a crime. When and if Santos is convicted of these serious offenses, an expulsion resolution would be more appropriate. Let's be clear, we have current members who have been accused of even more egregious crimes while the Republican majority continues to look the other way, end quote. Which, so Scott was like, yeah, if the committee comes back and says we should expel him, I'll reconsider. And then some reason he didn't. But then she was just like, yeah, nope, he won an election. He hasn't been convicted of a crime. Nope. Which I guess it makes it less of a surprise that she held that stance in this vote. But I feel like it's a worse stance on its own. Scott had a reasonable argument, whereas her argument is just crap. It might apply if you ignored the details of what we're actually talking about, but won a free and fair election when he lied about almost literally everything to the voters. Every part of his campaign was fake. That's not a free or fair election.
Yeah, this does start a special election cycle. The governor in New York has to call together the special election and get that going. The governor's office already tweeted out, and I hate that that's how this works these days. Yeah. The governor's office tweeted out earlier that they were starting the solemn work of setting up a special election. Yeah.
One thing I did find especially interesting about this was right before the vote to expel him, Representative Max Miller, a Republican from Ohio, sent a letter to his colleagues that got leaked to NBC News saying he learned earlier this year that Santos's campaign, quote, had charged my personal credit card and the personal card of my mother for contribution amounts that exceeded FEC limits. Neither my mother nor I approved these charges or were aware of them, end quote. So a sitting Republican congressman sent a letter to his colleagues get this guy the hell out of here.
That is crazy.
Personally testifying about credit card fraud by him.
Huh. Can he run again?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can, right?
There is nothing that legally prevents... He has said that he won't, but, what does his word count for?
Yeah.
Right?
Huh.
But no, legally there is nothing.
Watch
in
him just
place
run for governor next. Just, fuck it.
Yeah,
Just do
right.
something else. Okay. What else is there on this list? I think this is the last of my tabs. Oh, yeah. This is the top Israeli official reveals catastrophic plan for rest of Gaza. I believe it is... this idea that people are fantasizing about that we are going to stop the fighting and that we are going to allow Hamas to continue governing Gaza is not going to happen, he said. To do so, he said, would be akin to allowing a sword of terror to hang over the throats of Israeli civilians. This is Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus, the international spokesperson for the IDF in Tel Aviv. And to do this, he says that the military will be targeting the major cities of southern Gaza. And he basically says everything they did in the north, laying waste to it, they're going to also do that to the whole south, too. They're just going to,
Of course.
the whole thing. And he has said that they can all move into a little designated safe zone, the coastal strip of Al-Masawi. And if they stay in Khan Yunis or Rafah, a similar fate awaits them. So, the official, the one who actually literally is supposed to be saying, things for the IDF, says they're going to do this same thing they did up north to all the rest of Gaza, too. They're just going to finish off the whole thing. And he says that publicly, like it's okay to say that. Somehow. And it turns out for all the Western governments, it's okay to say that. It should not be.
It's really, it's one thing that stuck out to me about that statement, though, that people might overlook is the idea. What was the part about it leaving Hamas in place would be terrorists would be leaving a sword over,
a sword of terror to hang over the throats of Israeli citizens.
The reason that stood out to me is the fact that the Minister of National Security for Israel, Itamar Ben-Gvir, is a convicted terrorist.
Yeah.
He was convicted in Israel of being a Jewish terrorist.
Yeah, but, Netanyahu and his friends like bringing all the terrorists back into office.
Oh, yeah, that's their best friends. But it's just funny that he's talking about, leaving a sword of terror hanging over people when their own security minister is literally a terrorist.
Yep.
According to their own government.
Indeed. Yeah. So, I'm going to get up and get myself some more water. So what's next, Mac?
Well, let's see. Well, I guess the natural one to go to from there is talking a bit more about what's been going on between Israel and Gaza. Obviously, they had the ceasefire going on for 6 days, and then it ended this morning, and now at least 125 people are dead, and who knows how many hundreds more injured, because pretty much the first thing that happened was Israel immediately started doing airstrikes. And basically the first thing that they hit in the morning was Rafah, where the Egyptian border crossing is. The place that they've been telling people, the refugees in Gaza, to go to be safe. And that's not the only case where they did that. They also launched a bunch of airstrikes on Khan Yunis in southern Gaza, which they've also previously told civilians to flee to. But hey, a few hours before they did that bombardment, they at least dropped leaflets telling them to flee to Rafah, the place that they were also striking. They did strikes near 2 refugee camps and completely destroyed a building in a third. They hit just basically everything. That was great. I guess it's unclear if they actually were the ones to outright break the ceasefire or not. There's apparently the possibility that there was apparently some sort of rocket launch by Hamas that was supposedly aborted and was not intended But then Israel activated the Iron Dome and shot down some of them anyway. And then Israel used that as the pretext. It's not clear, from what I can tell, the degree to which any of this is true. I've seen reporting about this, but I'm sure we will get some additional details there as more information comes out. And of course, the White House is saying that the reason the truce collapsed is that Hamas failed to produce a list of captives to enable further extension, which is exactly what Israel has said was the cause. And on the other hand, Hamas said that Israel demanded a list of women who they found out were soldiers, and they were doing civilian releases. They are neither side is releasing soldiers currently. And then Israel refused to discuss the release of adult prisoners in exchange for the release of adult abductees, and that Hamas agreed to release bodies and hostages in exchange for the release of prisoners who were released and then re-imprisoned, but Israel rejected the offer. So it sounds like both sides are saying the other ones were being unreasonable, blah, blah, blah. Who knows what the actual truth there is? We'll probably get, more details released again in the future. But it's the usual, both of these groups are run by assholes. So both of them are notorious liars at various points. So, great things happening there. Oh, we did find out that as we believed was probably the case, Israel did, in fact, know almost exactly what Hamas had planned. They did not know the dates, apparently.
But almost a year in advance.
Yes, but they knew it almost a full year in advance. And
then Egypt told them, oh, yeah, that's next week.
Oh, and some of their own military personnel were like, so these guys are doing a whole bunch of exercises, and this is clearly preparation for something real in the near future. And then... in July, 3 months before the attacks, Israel's Signal Intelligence Agency had one of their analysts warn that Hamas had conducted an intense day-long training exercise that appeared similar to what was outlined in the blueprint, which, mind you, Israeli intelligence had been like, oh, so we had this blueprint, but no, they couldn't do it. They wouldn't dare. And then, their own intelligence analysts are like, guys, it looks like they're training to do that exact thing. And they were like, nah. And then, an NCO and the cyber intelligence unit said, quote, "They are training in large forces for a big event. This is not a parade of power. This is preparation for the real thing," end quote. And then... what happened? Well, Israel ignored it completely, pretended it wasn't going to happen.
Indeed. As we expect at this point, we will probably never know exactly everything that happened at those moments. But what we do know is we definitely know they knew this exact style of attack was coming about a year in advance. Mm-hmm. We know that a week before this one, Egypt swore to them that it was happening right now, and that their own intelligence told them, hey, that thing we were told about, it looks like they're planning for it now. And then it still happened anyways.
And also, analysis has shown that if they had actually redeployed their forces, since, so much of them were helping the settlers in the West Bank commit ethnic cleansing, if they'd actually redeployed their forces and, responded to these reports, they probably could have stopped it entirely.
Indeed. There were only a few border crossings that were actually used, or a few holes in the fences that were opened up that they could have. Yeah, so.
I believe. And I mean, they had, if they had redeployed personnel and been like, oh, we know they're going to try these things and this will be the prelude to when they're doing it, they would have just been like, oh, a rocket attack and people trying to mess with the cameras. Well, send out more people and be ready in case they try the thing that we know what they have planned. It would have not been all that complicated as military operations go. But, I mean, I guess there's an interesting dynamics with the how the Biden administration has approached this, because obviously, on the one hand, they're constantly like, "Yep, we back Israel, and here, let's put out a supplemental budget request that will remove basically all restrictions on transferring arms from the American stockpiles in Israel of U.S. military hardware to Israel." And in fact, one of the restrictions that they wanted to remove was the annual replenishment budget. So they'd be able to just let Israel take stuff out and then spend basically unlimited military funding to resupply so that Israel could take out more. So on the one hand, they've been doing stuff like that. But on the other hand, they have also applied some pressure here and there to limit the scale of the Israeli response.
Yep.
I mean, we saw them push back on Israel's initial ground attack, which delayed it by several weeks. They scaled back the degree to which they had intended to do it. They've gotten the Israelis to at least promise that they weren't going to hand the assault rifles over to settlers. And would try to keep them only to government agencies only, which I don't expect they'll really keep that promise. And the government agencies sometimes help the settlers, so I don't think it's really necessarily the most meaningful. But the fact that they've been pressing at all to get anything like that is well beyond what we're used to seeing from the U.S. government. So it's been an interesting dynamic where they've apparently tried to do things here and there, and it's been, never even 5% of what was needed, but still 100 times what we're used to the U.S. doing when it comes to pushing back on Israel.
It is, but I would also say that your language there, when you said the government sometimes helps the settlers are a government-run operation.
Yeah, sort of.
I mean,
it's what you might call a public-private partnership.
Yes, yes.
And the degree to which the government is involved in any specific thing varies. Sometimes the settlers
does.
They do have official government sanction, but a lot of it is, these private citizens basically doing stuff on their own.
Some of it is, but a lot of it is, even some of the settlers have just said outright in news interviews after they've done it that I was told I needed to come into this neighborhood, so when it comes time to negotiate land sometime in the future for a mythical peace deal, we'll outnumber them in this neighborhood, so we get to keep the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. It's
that's a very organized effort.
I do not want to downplay the degree of government involvement there, because there is quite a bit, but it is a lot of it is sort of think of government aligned private paramilitary.
Yes.
And the government sometimes actively helps and sometimes passively endorses, and it will certainly aid them in some ways all of the time. Anything the settlers do has effectively legal sanction, whereas anything anyone does in self-defense against the settlers absolutely does not. So it's not like the government is entirely uninvolved, but a lot of it is not necessarily outright government directed or have on duty, active duty government forces supporting, providing fire support or defense. Right. So, yeah. And of course, Israel is, continuing to try to push back on anything resembling a democratic, pluralist society. They're trying to bring back the death penalty there in a bill that would make it basically mandatory for a fair variety of crimes that fall under what they call terrorism, which they define as, quote, the purpose of harming the state of Israel and the rebirth of the Jewish people in its homeland, which is, there's just to give a sense of how that kind of broad thing would get applied. there's a Palestinian singer and neuroscientist, Dalal Abu Amneh, who filed a complaint with the Israeli police over death threats she received because she did a social media post with a Palestinian flag emoji and a Muslim phrase, "There's no victor but God." And instead of the police investigating the death threats she received, they arrested her for suspicion of incitement and support for terror based on social media posts. And then after a couple days in detention, she was placed under house arrest and banned from discussing the war for 45 days. And likewise, the Knesset just earlier this, or I guess last month now, passed an amendment to their counterterrorism law, introducing a new criminal offense, the consumption of terrorist materials, with a maximum penalty of 1 year's imprisonment. And it's like phrased like, oh, someone that, consumes media from terrorist organizations that is in a context where it suggests they support it. But then you look at how they actually are dealing with anyone that, says anything pro-Palestine in Israel and what they're getting arrested for and held. And often if they're Arab Israelis, just held and not actually ever getting criminally charged. They get under administrative detention where they can stay for years.
Indeed.
So, they managed to phrase the laws in a way where it's not overtly. The consumption of terrorist materials one is awfully close to thought crime at best, but it's not. It the way they phrase it makes it sound superficially not like, oh my God, this is obviously just terrible. But then you look at how they actually apply it and you're like, oh, no, I know exactly what they're doing here.
Yep. So what do we think of Fetterman? How about you guys, chat? And his wonderful pro-genocide stance, it seems. Because after he, basically came out with support for Israel and condemning Hamas and no agreement in any way on the fact that Israel might also have a part to play in, what's going on here. As of today, a bunch of new billboards and LED trucks are driving around and are up around Pennsylvania, thanking him for his support and telling people to, keep him in power, mostly paid for by AIPAC.
Of course.
So that sure as hell looks like a politician that just got bought.
I mean, it may not be that he is bought. It is likely that he was already inclined in that direction, and this is them sending a message to anyone that might be debating which way to go there.
Yeah. Lots of support for you if you go our way.
Yeah, and if you don't, we'll offer someone $20 million to run against you.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know of multiple people that have said that it was offered to them.
Because that's how politics works now.
Mm-hmm.
That is indeed how politics works now. So, the vertical recorder. There are actually two files that have appeared magically in the file system here. One from the earlier recording, this is a video file, an MKV, is 688 bytes.
That doesn't seem right.
Uh-huh. And the one for the current recording, where it says it's been recording for 27 minutes of 4K MKV, is 0 bytes. Exactly 0 bytes.
Well, that might be because it's the file handler is still open and it hasn't.
The current recording right now of this episode in the main OBS canvas, not the vertical one, is 1.2 gigs.
Okay, I guess that's not what's going on probably then.
So, yeah. So one of the things with OBS that's important to always remember is the reason you choose MKV and not MP4 is if anything crashes or anything else. MKV can be streamed into as a file and written as you go and doesn't need to be closed off with all kinds of special data and kind of formatted at the end. MP4 requires that. So an MP4 will get corrupted if your OBS crashes. An MKV, well, it might have to reindex the very last few frames of it, but the damn thing will work fine. So Yeah, I don't think those vertical files in the end of this are going to be any good. That's a thing to
no.
play with tomorrow and the next day. I really like what they look like, though. Like I'm a fan of the design that I did. Like I want to be able to post this stuff, but not yet. I don't know. You've seen what they look like. I kind of think like with this, what we've got up here, I think I need to bring those borders and everything over to the screen that they can see now. I like the idea. I like the look of it.
Yeah. No, it's not bad.
Yeah, but we'll see. I also just kind of like the just plain we're there with the chat thing too.
True.
Okay. Wow. I am feeling my voice, man. Whew. What else do we have to talk about tonight?
So we did mention Elon Musk a little earlier. I did have a few stories there that I wanted to cover.
Let's go.
So one of them, I don't know if you heard or how many people have heard about what's going on in Sweden currently with Tesla. So
the unions.
This is
Chat likes unions, right?
You
better. You heard that. He's coming for you.
Yeah. So for anyone that didn't hear about this is if it were not for the death of Henry Kissinger, this would be my favorite news story of the week, I think. And really, this one's been going on for a few weeks, but it keeps getting better as far as I'm concerned. So it started out, there's a Swedish Metal and Industrial Workers Union, IF Metal, who represents basically the 120-ish workers that Tesla has in Sweden. Tesla doesn't have any manufacturing, so they're basically like mechanics. And they launched a walkout at the company back in late October because the company refuses to sign collective bargaining agreements at all, categorically. They said Tesla told Sweden's TT news agency, quote, "We already offer equivalent or better agreements than those covered by collective bargaining and find no reason to sign any other agreement," end quote. So they said, "Screw you guys, we want our rights," and walked out. And in Sweden, sympathy strikes are totally legal and protected. So all the other industries in Sweden started getting in on striking against Tesla. So the dock workers won't unload Teslas from the ships there. Electricians won't work on their power, on their charging stations. The cleaners union won't work for Tesla. And then and it should be noted that about 90% of the Swedish workforce belongs to trade unions and are covered by contracts with their employers. So when this sort of thing happens, it spreads a lot. And in fact, back in November, the Postal Workers Union got in on it and decided they weren't going to deliver mail to Tesla. And so Tesla actually filed a lawsuit against, I believe it was against the government or PostNord to force them to basically deliver their mail. And Tesla, well, I guess you could say they sort of won, but if you look at the details, they didn't exactly win. Because what actually happened was the court, if you look at the surface details, the court ruled this past Monday that the country's transport authority had to find a way to get license plates to the Tesla that are being blocked by the postal workers within 7 days, or they'd have to pay a fine of about $95,000. But what the actual details there was that the request granted meant that Tesla can collect its license plates from the manufacturer. The actual issue at hand was that the transport agency refused to deliver the plates by other means because it was contractually bound to use PostNord. And since the PostNord workers wouldn't deliver it, they couldn't do anything, and they were just holding on to them. So the court went, okay, you have to let Tesla go pick them up from you and do it themselves. So I guess it's technically Tesla winning, but okay, you guys can go do it yourselves. Doesn't really seem like that much of a win to me.
Yeah. That's definitely not a win.
No,
and
not-
much agreed, Crisp. Happy Kissinger Death Week. Yes.
And so we already talked a little bit about the thing at the Deal Book Summit with Go Fuck Yourself.
Yes.
I did one thing that we did not mention about that previously, but was also very funny, was him calling it a mistake and saying that he shouldn't have done it and was one of the like dumbest things he'd done on the platform. But then he tried to defend it and like basically double down on his original claim about how, the Jewish community was funding groups that want their annihilation and perhaps you should not fund them. So I just like, you'd think, I guess it makes sense that the guy that also was telling advertisers to go fuck themselves in that same conversation probably wasn't going to do a very good apology, but like, pick a fucking lane, dude. And then, of course, the Twitter's CEO, Linda Yaccarino, tried to gaslight the shit out of everyone by replying to the New York Times reporter who conducted the interview's video of it, and then commenting, "Today, Elon Musk gave a wide-ranging and candid interview at DealBook 2023. He also offered an apology, an explanation, and an explicit point of view about our position. X is enabling an information independence that's uncomfortable for some people. We're a platform that allows people to make their own decisions. And here's my perspective when it comes to advertising. X is standing at a unique and amazing intersection of free speech and Main Street. And the X community is powerful and is here to welcome you. To our partners who believe in our meaningful work, thank you." Yeah, quite the apology, telling people to go fuck themselves, and how X is enabling free speech when they censor the absolute shit out of anyone that criticizes Elon, them, posts like anything vaguely left-wing, uses the word cisgender. Like, come the fuck on. Who are you fooling here?
If you read some more on that stuff, there's also the fun fact that they've hired a bunch of smaller advertising firms that focus more on small businesses and the small to medium business area in an attempt to land, thousands of small businesses to replace each one big business with sweet deals on the advertising, as if the smaller businesses need Twitter advertising, which is more about brand recognition than actually driving sales.
He reconciles corporate free speech with choosing not to do business with me is actually interfering with my business. That's not free speech. That's blackmail. That is his reconciliation of it. Good luck making sense of that, but I do have some more to say on that subject because. I mentioned the thing with Media Matters. I don't know how many people are familiar with this. Before we move on to the Media Matters thing, since you were talking, though, about them recruiting these advertising firms, one thing that I saw about on the subject of advertising firms was it turns out that all the big advertising and marketing agencies are telling their clients that Twitter is radioactive. This is a quote from, I forget which article this was from, but quote, "At least half a dozen marketing agencies said the brands they represent were standing firm against advertising on X, while others said they had advised advertisers to stop posting anything on the platform. Some temporary spending pauses that advertisers have enacted in recent weeks against X are likely to turn into permanent freezes," they added, with Mr. Musk's comments not giving them no incentive to return. So one guy, Lou Pascalis, the founder and chief executive of AJL Advisory, said that there is no advertising value that would offset the reputational risk of going back on the platform. And then Tom Hespos, a longtime media planning executive who runs a consulting firm, Abydos Media, and works with clients and healthcare and other industries up to $50 million media budgets, said that he gave his first formal recommendation to a client on Thursday that they not only stop spending on X, but back away from posting there.
Yeah.
So like they're looking at these tiny, small business advertising firms, and these people that are like, yeah, no, we're dealing with companies that have $50 million advertising budgets and telling them not even to post on the site, never mind advertise there. But yeah, so the Media Matters thing, back on November 16th, they posted a report titled, "As Musk endorses anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, X has been placing ads for Apple, Bravo, IBM, Oracle, and Xfinity next to pro-Nazi content." And they demonstrated that they had, set up an account on the site and done some simulated like user stuff. And here are screenshots of neo-Nazis, literal pro-Hitler content right next to ads for all these major companies. So what was the response? Well, Musk decided that they were going to sue Media Matters. And this lawsuit...
Slap?
Well, it is absolutely a strategic lawsuit against public participation.
Indeed.
Which is why they filed the lawsuit in Texas, where there is no anti-slap law.
Yep.
And, interesting, you might note that Twitter's headquarters is San Francisco and Media Matters is in DC. So there's some lawyers out there saying that the question of whether there's a proper venue or personal jurisdiction of the case is highly debatable, and the case might get thrown out just on those grounds.
Yep.
Although, given that it's Texas and in the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, that it is entirely possible we will end up with some, shithead judge that gives zero fucks about the law, initially rules against it. It goes to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which is easily the worst of the circuit courts of appeals. It does the same thing. And then it goes to the Supreme Court, where even the conservatives like 2 or 3 of the conservatives on the Supreme Court go, whoa, no, that is not a good plan. Do you have any idea how that would backfire on us? I do know that there are people. I haven't seen any of the most of the LawTube channels that I pay attention to cover it. I know Midas Touch has said some stuff about it. I think. Maybe I'm misremembering there, but I believe so. If not, I expect that they will, because this suit is. You know how sometimes like Trump's attorneys will come out with a legal filing and it's just, you're like, how is this even a legal filing?
How did this person pass law school?
Yeah, this is that bad.
Yeah.
It is so amazing. So it starts out claiming, quote, "Defendant Media Matters for America, Media Matters, is a self-proclaimed media watchdog that decided it would not let the truth get in the way of a story it wanted to publish about X Corp, looking to portray X's social networking platform as being dominated by white nationalist and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. Media Matters knowingly and maliciously manufactured side-by-side images depicting advertisers' posts on X Corp's social media platform beside neo-Nazi and white nationalist fringe content, and then portrayed these manufactured images as if they were what typical X users experience on the platform. Media Matters designed both these images and its resulting media strategy to drive advertisers from the platform and destroy X Corp," end quote. So you, like... First of all, that's not really it's not really how like lawsuits usually start. They start
That's
with
not how anything
factual
works, actually.
background, not like self-proclaimed media watchdog that would not let the truth get in the way of a story. Like,
yep,
that kind of grandstanding is not usually how these things start out. But then like, what are they actually alleging here? Like, if you listen to what they're saying, it sounds like they're saying that like Media Matters like manufactured these fake images and published them, and like tried to claim that tried to use them to claim that like everything on X is dominated by this content. But like, first of all, Media Matters never said anything about the prevalence. They said that it was happening. They said literally nothing about how frequently. They just said, hey, look, we demonstrated that X does this. Here's the screenshots of it happening. And in the lawsuit, X, Twitter, de facto admits that the images aren't fake at all.
Right.
They just blame Media Matters for what?
Picking and choosing only the ones that showed their point.
Yeah. Well, so here's what they actually say about it. And it is, quote, Media Matters has manipulated the algorithms governing the user experience on X to bypass safeguards and create images of X's largest advertisers' paid posts adjacent to racist, incendiary content, leaving the false impression that these pairings are anything but what they actually are: manufactured, inorganic, and extraordinarily rare. Like, they manipulated the algorithms of how you serve content and advertising. Wait, you wrote those algorithms. So are they like hacking your site and rewriting your code? Or did they just show that your algorithm does that sometimes? Because if they did that, then like, what are you even arguing here? How is it like, so like, how is there, this is a defamation case. Defamation by definition has to be untrue. You're admitting that your site served them this content. It doesn't matter what they did to get you to do it. Like, that's still you. But then it gets even funnier when you look at their explanation for what kind of manipulation this was. Because they phrase it like it's this nefarious plot. But, okay, quote, Media Matters executed this plot in multiple steps, as X's internal investigations have revealed. First, Media Matters accessed accounts that had been active for at least 30 days, bypassing X's ad filter for new users. Oh no, they had an account that was active for 30 days. Like, ooh, so nefarious. Like, that's totally non-representative, huh? Your users usually have accounts that are less than 30 days old, huh? Anyway, continuing.
Yeah.
Media Matters then exclusively followed a small subset of users consisting entirely of accounts in one of two categories: those known to produce extreme fringe content and accounts owned by X's big name advertisers. All right. Like, do they think that they don't have users that have like subscribed to both of those things? Like, they're trying to portray it as, I guess, something nefarious because they only followed those two. But like, if you just follow those and others, you'll still sometimes get that. Yeah. Like, it doesn't change.
I just get shit like that recommended at this point as, you know, posts that I didn't follow from people I didn't follow. Just like, this is a rising thing. And it like shows me like random shit that usually I do not like. It's kind of like when you're on TikTok and half of the TikToks like are totally unrelated to anything you actually normally look at or interact with. It's just it's the platform itself raising this stuff up. Not,
yeah, exactly.
You don't have to go hunting for it.
And then this actually gets funnier. So it continues on. Quote, the end result was a feed precision designed by Media Matters for a single purpose: to produce side-by-side ad/content placements that it could screenshot in an effort to alienate advertisers. But this activity still was not enough to create the pairings of advertisements and content that Media Matters aimed to produce. Media Matters therefore resorted to endlessly scrolling and refreshing its unrepresentative hand-selected feed, generating between 13 and 15 times more advertisements per hour than viewed by the average X user, repeating this inauthentic activity until it finally received pages containing the result it wanted: controversial content next to X's largest advertisers' paid posts, end quote. Hey, so Twitter, would you say that the most engaged with content that you have primarily comes from users that engage in, say, 13 to 15 times more activity than the average user? Because I bet that would be true.
Yeah.
I would bet that most of the active engagement on Twitter comes from people with at least 10 times the average. Because that is how these sorts of sites work. And then anyway, this continues because somehow it actually, like, it is amazing. I'm going to keep quoting from this because it just continually gets more and more hilarious and pathetic. where's the next good one? I think perhaps my favorite single quote from this in terms of the context of the nature of the suit itself was, Media Matters omitted mentioning any of this in a report published on November 16th, 2023 that displays instances Media Matters found on X of advertisers' paid posts featured next to neo-Nazi and white nationalist content. Nor did Media Matters otherwise provide any context regarding the forced, inauthentic nature and extraordinary rarity of these pairings. End quote. Their entire thing is that this is defamation, they were lying about what was actually going on. But here they are admitting that we're mad that they didn't say enough about how rare it was. But they're not obligated to. They have no, they did what they said was the truth. We found this stuff. That is all they.
Twitter's platform is capable of generating that content next to that content. That is what they said, and they were being truthful.
Meanwhile, one of the just most incredibly bullshit lines of argumentation they tried to use. In fact, IBM's, Comcast, and Oracle's paid posts appeared alongside the fringe content cited by Media Matters for only one viewer out of more than 500 million on all of X. Media Matters. Not a single authentic user of the X platform saw IBM's, Comcast's, or Oracle's ads next to that content, which Media Matters achieved only through its manipulation of X's algorithms as described above. And in Apple's case, only 2 out of more than 500 million active users saw its ad appear alongside the fringe content in the article, at least one of which was Media Matters. So their argument is, hey, look, these very specific posts of pro-Hitler stuff basically never appeared beside these specific ads. So therefore, it doesn't count. Just ignore all of the other pro-Hitler content on the platform, because none of that counts when it appeared. It only counts if it's literally this one individual post.
It's absolutely crazy. I mean, obviously, they have to argue what they have to argue as a company because of what's happening, but they could also instead just go back to properly moderating things.
They could. Also, then their actual, the basis for their... they have 3 claims that they make against Media Matters. And, oh my God, these are bad. So the first one is interference with contract. Normally, this would be you operate a business and you have a vendor that provides something that you need for your business, and you have a contract with them to provide that thing. Someone that's a competitor of yours that has a lot of money goes to that same vendor and says, all right, you're going to cancel that contract or we will never do business with you. And we have the money to make that hurt. That is interference with contract. A watchdog being like, hey, do you realize what your ads are going next to? And them going, oh, no, we don't want any part of that. Is so far away from interference with contract that it's how do they even come up with this as an argument? Did they smoke meth before writing this filing? Come on.
I mean, what lawyers want to work with him anymore is, and he's almost Trump at this point when it comes to, lawyers being laughed at after working with them.
Yes. And then, his second, the second one was business disparagement, which is basically defamation, which, requires the statements to be false, not they hurt our feelings. And then the third one was interference with prospective economic advantage, which is very similar to interference with contract, but it involves ongoing business relationships or imminent contracts rather than canceling existing contracts. So none of these have anything to do with what actually happened.
Ugh.
And while we're talking about Elon, I don't know if did you hear about his Pizzagate meme?
I did.
Yeah. So anyone that missed that, he posted a tweet promoting a Pizzagate meme. It was I think it was something from The Office. The captions were, Pizzagate is real. No, it isn't. We have experts. They traffic children, but we have experts. Your expert just went to jail for child porn. And then he replied to that with, does seem at least a little suspicious, which is, referring to, I don't know how many people followed this, because this one's just so stupid. A bunch of pizza gators said that, so there's a former ABC News journalist named James Gordon Meek, who recently pled guilty to federal child porn charges. And they were like, you see, the expert that debunked Pizzagate was a child molester. Except he had nothing to do with Pizzagate. Like, as far as I can tell, he had one article that he'd been involved in that even mentioned Pizzagate. And it wasn't an article about Pizzagate. It was an article about Russian propaganda and the Syrian war that just happened to mention Pizzagate as like another conspiracy theory being boosted by Russia.
Yep.
So like... And Elon, being the absolute fucking moron that he is, sees this shit and like falls for it all in, and then gets called out for it, and then, deletes it and tries to pretend that he never said it. Which I guess is...
Sounds about right. Sounds about like Elon.
Actually, I to be fair, I guess that's about like the best you can actually hope from him, because most of the time he doesn't delete it and doubles down instead.
Sticking on Elon there, did you see the news today that leaked where he admitted that he tried to sell Tesla to Apple?
I did not.
So he says he tried to sell Tesla to Apple at the kind of midpoint of the Model 3 production, when things were at their toughest. They were fighting to get this thing going right, to get their numbers up. Just everything was hell. He went to Apple and attempted to sell it. Tim Cook was reached out to and talked to, and he said, yeah, I don't really remember that. But, I mean, he might have. And so then when they look through it all, what it looks like is the idea was so dumb to them that they just outright passed on it before even bringing it up all the way to Tim Cook. So he wasn't even told about it, and Apple had already passed on the idea.
That is really funny.
Yeah, so I just think that's absolutely hilarious. It would have definitely finally moved Apple's car programs, farther along.
I suppose that's true.
Did you pay attention to the debate with DeSantis and Newsom?
I saw a little bit about it. I didn't have any real interest in watching it.
It was hilarious watching Newsom just tear him a new one the whole time. DeSantis is so stupid that it's like really easy to just keep winning every argument.
Yeah, it was Sean Hannity that was the moderator.
Uh-huh.
And like even he said like at some point was like, "Come on, like just let him talk. I'm not just an empty seat here." Like, you managed to get Sean Hannity to look fair and balanced. What the hell is wrong with you?
Thanks for the bits, homie. Yeah, my favorite was the kind of going out statement by Newsom. Where he said, quote, one thing that we have in common is neither of us will be the nominee for our party in 2024. Like, that's the level he was playing at that night.
That is pretty harsh.
Just, oh, wow, right? So, chat, we are coming up on 2 hours. I think we should play a couple games really quick. I actually ordered some food here, and it'll be here... probably in 2 minutes. That's what I'm guessing. We aren't going to go in 2 minutes, just, it'd be nice to eat at some point. So I think we should play some games together like we did last week, right? But what button did that again? Is that the old... This one? Does that... it camera boxed both of us. We're in there now. Okay, so we're gonna play today's Wordle to start. Which is easy because you just start with penis, then block, and then wharf, and that usually covers a hell of a lot of the letters. All right.
Supposedly, crane is one of the best openings.
That's a good one, too. So we've got E, N, K, and A. Huh.
None of those are in that order. Need, K-N-E-A-D. Or no, because that has A in the wrong position.
No,
maybe.
Oh. D is wrong there. Ooh. Yeah, it can't be ankle. And the C isn't there for a CK thing.
No, I think that does have to be a KN or NK.
Let's see. We have Q, T, G. What do we got here? I wish the D was there because we could do naked, and that would totally use them.
Yeah.
I mean, nape is a word, but the K and the N don't go at the beginning.
Indeed.
What is the missing letter? Let's see. Nope, I'm drawing a blank here.
I mean, if we want to know what the missing letter is, we can probably narrow it down by using time, THYME, because that uses most of the letters that we have left.
Actually, yeah. It is the T, and the T starts right there.
Okay.
So it's T.
And the second letter cannot be E or N. So probably A.
Has to be the A. The next one can't be the N. So it's that. Taken.
Oh, yes.
Right? Boom. There we go. Got there. That took to the last one. All right.
Indeed.
What's the good old guess the country? Ooh, what is that? Why does 1Password think that's a password? What is that? It looks like it's got water.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it has water.
Just going to start testing things and see where we are on the map, because I think it's close to Peru.
Really?
Now we got to go north.
2,000 kilometers
North of Peru, so Central America. Could that be Honduras?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, now we're to the right of that. That's not Belize. Because Belize is a wider country.
No, because also...
Remember, that's not miles, that's kilometers.
Yeah, that's still like 900 miles
Right.
to the east. Dominican Republic?
Is that side of the island?
Or, yeah, isn't it the eastern side? And Haiti is the western side, right?
Wow. Oh my God. Why does 1Password think this is a password field? Oh. South of that by 700 kilometers.
That's going to be
What's
tough.
over there?
Like the Antilles.
Little islands.
Yeah, it's all small island nations. And half of them are like
Trinidad?
Yeah, could be maybe.
God damn it. It should be in the box when I type that. Yeah, Trinidad and Tobago, yeah. How close are we now? Nope, now we're 975 that way. See, okay, that's just...
So, maybe like Bermuda
Bermuda's north of that.
Yeah, Bermuda would be farther north. What is over there?
That way.
Barbados, maybe? I think that's still a little farther north. But
Yeah, I think that's just a little farther north. What could this one be? If it's north of Peru. east of Honduras, south of Dominican, and then like it's that like it feels like an island to me because a couple of these little areas right here, but
and I mean that geography, that's got to be somewhere in the Caribbean. There's no mainland area. There's those numbers are pointing.
Yeah, I'm at a loss. This one's tough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna test just with this. Just why can't I type Colombia? Just to kind of see where that puts us again. So it is off the shore. It is one of the islands.
Yeah, I was pretty positive.
I'm just making sure like where we're centered in on.
Yeah.
Saint Lucia.
Maybe I think that's still farther north.
I do too. Like in Kitts, like.
Yeah, Kitts and Nevis, maybe.
Yeah, Kitts, maybe.
I think that's on the southern side of that.
St. Kitts and Nevis. Nice. I didn't get it right at all. Aruba.
Oh, yeah, that is way down there.
Yeah, see, Talking Fifos came in right after I hit the button. We were like circling it. You can see the arrows. We just built a circle around it.
We were trying.
Oh, look at that. I've got food. Let's play Tradle. All right. Okay, so they trade processed fish, non-fillet fish, mollusks, documents of title and bonds, scrap iron, planes, helicopters, and or spacecraft. Who's majority processed fish, but also planes, helicopters, and spacecraft?
Yeah, that.
What'd you say? Malaysia? All right, let's try Malaysia. No, whoa. 14,000 kilometers away.
So.
Let's just get closer. Let's go like Greece.
I mean, that's still probably going to be a fair ways, I think.
Now we're going down into Africa, it looks like.
Yeah. That's.
But on the west coast, for planes, helicopters, and or spacecraft.
But still, like half of their exports are processed fish.
I mean, that can't be Morocco, can it? No.
No, I don't think so. I mean, that's not the worst for like narrowing it down, I guess. But
okay, we're still 2,400 kilometers north. Oh, wow, that's Morocco's on the left coast, though, on the west coast. So that puts it out in the water, right?
I mean, like I think the bulge of Africa does extend farther east or farther west than Morocco. So something down near the Ivory Coast.
Yeah, so I was trying to type Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire. Okay, now we're south of it, and we're pointing northwest.
1,000 miles. Oh, that's got to be. That's got to be an island then.
What could that be? Could this be?
I would, if it were its own country, I'd say the Canary Islands. But
I'm just gonna be stupid
still part of
and go all the way over to Brazil just for the hell of it, just to get the arrow that points this direction, right?
Right.
Yeah, see? No, it's definitely out there in the water. Okay, so...
And much closer to Africa than South America.
What island close to Africa?
The only ones I can think of over there are the Canary Islands, but they're farther north and not an independent nation.
And they don't make spacecraft.
I mean, I don't think, but I don't know. Aside from fish, I don't know what they have in the way of exports. So for all I know, maybe...
Well, these have been getting harder.
Yeah. This one's tricky.
I got Tradle like 10 days in a row, and then suddenly it's just like, screw you guys. Yeah. Senegal? That's not a bad one.
Yeah, that's not the worst guess.
We missed it. Cape Verde.
Wow.
I would never believe Cape Verde with planes, helicopters, and spacecraft.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean, that one was just throwing me the fuck off. I know a bunch of Cape Verdeans, and I don't think they know how to make spacecraft. Like, I don't know how to make spacecraft. Like, what? What the hell was that? Okay, we're going to global. I
suppose they probably don't have to export that much for it to be a significant portion of their exports, though.
Egypt is 1,200 miles away from it. How about India? India's 480 miles away from it. How about Vietnam? Vietnam's way farther away. Nepal? Nepal is not it. Pakistan is closer then? Pakistan is 335 miles away.
Pakistan borders...
Oman?
Yeah, maybe.
No, farther away.
Man, 300 miles.
Something it's north of it? Yeah, like Uzbekistan?
Oh, I guess that's possible.
Wow. What's that N doing there? Uzbekistan is adjacent to the answer. What's right next to Uzbekistan?
But not bordering Pakistan.
Pakistan. Kazakhstan?
I guess, possibly. Although I think that would be more than 300 miles from the nearest border of Pakistan.
I can't spell it. Yeah, Kazakhstan. There we go.
Really? Wow.
Got it.
Man, I would guess that gap between that and Pakistan was more than 300 something miles.
Easy. I will tell you the only reason I guess Kazakhstan is because I watch so much cycling, and one of the teams is literally Astana, which is their big energy company. And so I think about Kazakhstan just because it's like very deeply in one of the sports I watch all the time. Otherwise, I would totally forget that place exists. Framed. All right, we get to see one frame of a film.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Die Hard?
Not the worst guess?
Nope. Who are these people?
I don't see
Nope, nothing there helps me. Oh, what is this? The Maze Runner?
Oh, yeah, it does look like that.
Boom, the Maze Runner.
Yeah.
Look at that. There we go. All right, we got that one. How about Movie Doll? Are you guys ready for this horrible, horrible thing? All right, we get to see 1 second. What is this movie? There was a high school in there. I saw that.
And a basketball game?
Okay, High School Musical is the only one that says high school. Let's guess that. Nope. Yeah, we definitely, you both saw basketball, it looks like.
And it was only a little bit near the end, so it was not like heavy focus. So
I can't recognize any of those stars. Like usually you can like figure out who the person was, you know?
I saw someone in the credits that there. It looked like almost like the name was John Cusack, but such a short glimpse that
Zac Efron stuck in the. Oh God, what the fuck is the name of that movie? That does look like that movie. I don't know the name of. I don't think any Zac Efron movies. But I think you're right. Not one of those like Body Switch or something, right? Like it's not Body Double. But I'll guess that one. Yeah, like I don't remember his movie names. Yeah, that definitely looks like Zac Efron there. Damn it. Well, I don't know any of his movie names, so we're just going to do this. 17 again. Yep. You were there, San Antonio.
Yeah, you definitely
were
had
there.
the right movie.
That's the right movie. Just none of us ever saw that damn thing.
Nope.
All right, Flick Talk. Let's go to this one. Another movie one with the images. Ooh, security room. Watching a toy store.
Oh, yeah.
Toy? Not Toy Story. What's the one with Richard Pryor? Yeah, The Toy. There it is. Nope. Someone failing a bunch of elementary school stuff, it seems. I have no idea what the hell this one is.
Yeah, I don't recognize that.
Who's got John Ritter? Oh, this is Bad Santa, right?
Didn't see
Boom.
it.
Bad Santa. Just trying to think of what modern John Ritter movies are there before he passed away. And I think, like, yeah, there's like 2 or 3, right? And they're all like Christmas shit. All right, what about the TV one? The problem I have with the TV one is it shows so many modern TV shows that I just have never seen before. What the hell is this?
Don't know.
Let's look at the next one. No idea. New York Yankees. So this takes place in New York. That does not help me. Is this what's that one that like the movie had Jennifer Hudson in it? And then they did a TV show of it. Yeah, I mean we can go Mad Men. It might as well, right? I mean this is definitely the time period.
Era.
The fuck is she doing sitting there with a typewriter? Oh, Maisel. The Marvelous Miss Maisel. Yep, you got it. There we go. Yep, there it is. Are you guys ready for Time Guesser? What is today's Time Guesser? Okay, well, wow. How timely. You see that, right?
What?
You see who's in the picture on Time Guesser, right?
I do not, because I'm looking at the thing that's showing our overlay on that part of the screen.
Oh yeah, because it's put it over there where the overlay is.
Yes.
Let's do this. Right? Do you see a dead man? I see a dead man.
I see 2 dead men, but you know.
Yeah.
One of them I'm currently more concerned with.
All right, so this has to be 71, maybe?
Yeah, that's certainly a good guess. 71 is definitely a good starting point.
And then, where are they? Is that Russia?
That looks like it, probably. And given who we're looking at, probably either Russia or somewhere in the Soviet Union in Eastern Europe.
We're going to go 71 and Russia. 1 year off and 3 kilometers. That's about the best you can do.
Oh, wow. That was, that was an excellent guess.
Okay, I'm going to take a bite of my food here.
Yeah, 9,880 out of 10,000 points. That is...
So we play 5 rounds.
Do they have leaderboards for this one? I want to see what
they do.
Does anyone beat that? Because that is solid.
Huh.
I
mean, what are we looking at over here?
It's in the late 80s, early 90s, I would guess.
That's a yellow plate.
In that era, maybe New York. They had a yellow plate at that time, as I recall. What does it say up at the top?
No,
left?
but it's a wide plate. This is Europe, right?
Yeah.
That's a flat, wide one. Those definitely do look like chavs or future chavs, yes.
Yeah, I was thinking that the outfits did make me think
Coolin
UK.
Road. I mean, this is definitely somewhere United Kingdom, right? Yellow plates would put it in Scotland in that time.
What was the Welsh plate? Because that spelling, I would guess, may be more likely to be Welsh.
Oh, actually, yeah, it could be.
Because Coolin would be spelled usually the
We could
other
go
way.
like Cardiff.
Yeah, that's not the worst guess.
Let's get like town center Cardiff, though. And then that car.
That is an 80s design.
Oh, definitely. Want to go 87?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
89 Ireland is what San Antonio thinks. All right, let's.
It's not an unreasonable guess as well.
92. We were off.
I mean, we didn't have a whole lot of cute.
And it was farther north.
No, we should have known that from the those outfits.
Oh yeah,
That
true.
is early
Those are
90s.
92 outfits.
Yeah.
But it was Liverpool, not Cardiff. It was the other side of Wales. I had to pick one side, and I was it's near there, it's near here. I picked the wrong side. Still, we got pretty close.
Yeah, I would say that was a pretty
We were
solid
on
guess.
the island.
We were in the right country in the UK.
Yeah.
That is solid, given that it was Wales.
Ooh. House, spelled like that, is usually America.
Yeah.
The 343 Kincroft. Can't read that. No.
Kingford Roxbury?
Roxbury?
Maybe Roxbury, but
Maybe. Chase something there.
Chemist.
Yep.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I was looking at the one to the right where it says chemist.
What does this say? Does that actually say taxi? Doesn't look like it.
I'm not sure.
Which bridge is this back here?
There's too many possibilities. That style is not super uncommon.
No, this is New York.
I suspect that is a good guess, but I do not have enough clues to be high confidence on that.
Let's see. Where is this? This is... There's Astoria. I am going to say, where are we? There's Flushing, there's Allerton, way up there. There's Fort Lee. I am going to say we are somewhere over here, maybe. Like right around this area. That's what I'm going for. I'm being that close. Could be Chicago too, definitely. It's definitely not 62. Those are 70 cars,
Yeah,
right?
those are 70s.
That's like 71.
Yeah, I mean, it might be later just because...
oh, yeah, some of those are a little boxier. You could go 74.
Yeah,
that could be Sydney too.
Yeah, that is true. That is
Gonna go 74, New York, other side of the Queens Bridge. I was nowhere near. It was Sydney. Holy shit,
81.
Budo.
Okay, that's 81 does actually make some sense there too for the year.
Yep.
Because Australia would have those cars on the road around then.
Well done, Budo.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So in Japan.
No.
No? As Shinjuku? That's not.
Yeah. This is Japan.
Yeah.
No, some of these kanji are actually also used in Japan, but up here you can clearly see the hiragana.
Yeah.
And you can see some katakana down in here. So this is
true. Yeah.
This is definitely Japan.
Also, just the fact that it mentioned Shinjuku tends
Yeah.
to be a tip off.
Dead giveaway.
What's that green sign near the bottom? It looks like a subway entrance, maybe type thing.
Yeah, Shinjuku Station.
Yeah, is it?
So, yeah.
Yep. There we go. That tells us. Can't be very far off on that one in terms of, anything really.
Right?
It says Barbie movie.
I know. We know how
Can't
close
screw
this
that
is.
one up.
Okay. I guess we're close enough. It doesn't really matter. So we're just going to go here.
Yeah, sure.
And then 2023.
Yeah.
And 4 kilometers and spot on the year. Not bad. Last one.
Damn, that one's tough.
This one looks designed to confuse.
What is the inscription on that statue?
Juliet.
Juliet.
Juillet.
Juillet, 1830.
Juillet,
So probably
1830.
somewhere associated with France then.
Yeah.
I don't know that name offhand or recognize the statue.
You think Juillet is Buckingham Palace?
It's not impossible to have a French name on a statue in the UK.
Yeah,
but,
totally. Definitely looks more French to me, and I could never see this guy's outfit being 60s. This, again, looks like one of those 92 outfits.
Yeah, I would say this is more modern, but in a period where that sort of style of clothing that was retro was also fashionable again.
So we're just going to say Paris, and we're going to say 92. Actually,
I would say probably maybe a little later than
93 then. 6 years off at 99, but we were only 7 kilometers away. We were really close. Everyone I know that plays this game, the aim is to break 40,000. So we got really close to the average aim there.
If we had done better on that New York City one,
Right.
we got Australia.
Yeah, if we weren't 15,000 kilometers away, it
we
seems.
would have easily broken that 40,000.
We could play Contexo, everybody. But this game is a son of a bitch.
Okay.
Maybe with all of our minds combined. Because it doesn't...
The similarity one, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know where we are. We have no hints. We don't know shit. We're just going to start typing words.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah, Budo, in retrospect,
shit.
I did think of that about the chemist one. That did seem weird, but I wasn't sure if that might have been a thing that occasionally appeared back in the 70s. So.
Holy crap, I'm close.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I've never gotten this close this fast.
Softball? No. So it is very close to baseball, but not close to softball.
Ooh, stadium is up there.
Cricket? Also up there. Huh.
Just seeing if they're including anything anyone's ever called a sport, close or not. Tournament? Baseball's still the closest. Where does hockey go? Hockey goes way down there. Teammate, isn't it? It's probably not about the people. No. Basketball was not guessed yet. Okay. No. Oh, way down there. Volleyball. Nope. So it's not just like generic sport related.
No.
It's a one word only. There will be no 2-word answers to these.
Did you? Oh yeah, you did guess soccer.
Right?
That is almost as far as you can get.
Remember, it's contextual, so like we could literally end up here with like bus,
Right.
because all these people use buses. Like, obviously that's not it, but like contextual, umpire, jersey. I wonder. Referee is not it. Umpire is not it. Those go pretty far down. So, again, I'm not thinking it's the people. I mean, we tape like a player. Players just under pitcher.
So it is something that is related to both baseball and cricket.
I typed balls already. It's like way down here. Typed glove already.
Bleacher? Or stands or something? I don't know. Okay.
Nope.
Run? Run is...
Huh.
No, I'm not very close.
We're at 56. I got to sport on number 8. So we got close, and then we're here. Tickets is up here already. Right here.
Series. Did you guess series already?
Series is in the middle.
Okay.
I tried tournament. Just seeing if there's anywhere near like a person involved. Fan, definitely up there too.
Oh, yeah.
Card. Collectible. Autograph. No. Coach. Manager. Yeah, this one can get really frustrating. Steroids. I like it. I like it.
If I knew cricket terminology better, I would be thinking about if baseball or cricket have any like common terminology for like events in game. Like, is there a foul in cricket? I don't know. I'm only vaguely familiar with the rules.
Team names like. Oh.
Oh.
Huh. Rangers. Yankee Ranger. Get wrecked, Boston. Yeah.
Dodger.
Astros. Team Reds. Red Ranger. The Athletics. Mariners. Padres. I like almost all sports. I do not care for baseball. Just annoys me. I mean, I'll do Cowboys because why not, right? But I think it's the wrong sport.
It does seem likely to be.
We are definitely on baseball teams here.
Yeah.
Diamondbacks. Mets. Poor Mets. Chicago Cubs.
Do these teams that are all close, are they all in like the same league or something?
The Reds, the Mariners. No, I don't think so. Yeah, the Red Sox is 2 words, so it won't work. I mean, Cubs definitely. I wish was the answer here, but it is not.
Pirates.
Pirates. Does that put us closer? No. What do we got? I mean, so like the top 2 right now are both Texas, or one of them's Texas team, and then we've got Cincinnati, and then Seattle, and then New York. Dodgers we did, Padres we did.
Maybe something from the West.
Who did the Expos become? There's the Blue Jays. Huh. Well, this thing hates them.
Orioles.
Braves. Orioles.
Trying to remember the handful.
How the fuck do you spell Oriole?
Oiroles.
Close. Oriole, Mariner, Reds, Rangers.
We've just
tried the Astros. Let's see here. Twins. That's another one. Yes. No, that's down there with the Braves and the Pirates.
Royals. I was trying to remember.
Boom, the Royals.
Wow.
Kansas City stepping up.
I am amazed I managed to even know the name of.
I just want everyone to know here that local sports expert Mac won the game. All right. I just want everyone to be aware that our local sports nerd got this one.
Yes, the person that barely knows which sport these teams are associated with and doesn't even...
Yeah, see, we could have come at it from a different thing, too, because I just typed in king. If we had gone down another path, because contextually, it's just
easily.
contextually.
Right,
we could have gotten there through royal in the other way, too. Huh.
Entirely possible.
We got there through sports teams.
If we gotten that one.
That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, everyone. That is the games. That is all the other stuff. We're 2.5 hours in here. Unless anyone has any pressing thing that we forgot about or missed while we were doing all this, I think the show might be over for the night. Things are starting to settle down a little. I have no idea if I have a court date on the 11th now. I should update you on a couple of those things. The court date on the 11th, they have 14 days to file their charges against us after we've been arrested, then let go on bail and everything. And that would have been the 27th, and they haven't been filed yet. So our lawyer is planning on filing on Monday, dismissals. Saying, hey, buddy, you have 14 freaking days here. So I think that one might get done there. Ooh, look at that. Thanks for the 5, Anonymous. So yeah, so that one, I just won't know until Monday. I mean, they don't have to dismiss. They can be dicks about it, and then we just have to argue in court. But the rule is 14 days, and they're past that, so... We'll see on that one. My other court date, I had the court date for the Extinction Rebellion event a few days ago, on the 27th, funny enough. And at that court date, we ended up with the judge you don't want if you're a protester. There's a judge here who absolutely hates protesters, Judge Sennett in Boston. And he's a weird guy. His dad was the censor of Boston, the official city censor. So when you see the joke about things like banned in Boston and there are those punk stickers banned in Boston, he was actually the one who was like telling things they were banned in Boston, that's all about. His son was our judge. So our lawyer used some procedural junk to say, we need a new court date. Because the city had been slow to give her discovery, and she could use that to say, I just got it, and I need to kind of push this back. So with that, we got a new court date, which is all the way out in January 23rd. So I can't get arrested with XR again until then, unless I want to have 2 open and have the judge be even more angry at me. So that's how all of that fun goes. So court date pushed way back. And on the other front, we're working on some things. Like I said, there's going to be Free Palestine, Pal Action kind of a thing going on. It's a solidarity event, a bunch of groups going to Maine on the 8th. So people should be thinking about that. I'll actually have graphics and whatnot before that and show everyone what's going on, what we're doing, if anyone wants to make it. I don't think that one will be one where everyone ends up with $45,000 in bail like the last one. Because the goal is not to go do all the things that happened last time. But we will see. Other than that, I'm going to go finish eating some more and settle down a little. And with court dates being pushed out, with work being where it is, everything else, I will probably stream a little more often starting now. I'm going to try and get my Monday, Wednesday, Thursday thing going maybe. We'll see what extras come in. I do just kind of honestly want to do some daytime game streams, so I'm probably going to play around with some of that. There's a lot of fun games, the one everyone's playing right now, Lethal Company, looks awesome. If I did games like that, they require teams. I mean, you can solo them, but they're not really built for that. So I might start up streams and just say, whoever's in chat, here's the code. And when the 4 or 5 people that can fit in the lobby join, they join and we all play together, shit like that. So we'll figure all that out as we go. But other than that, I think great stream tonight. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for all the bits, the subs, the follows. And I would have one last request. If any of you don't mind, for various ideological reasons, and you aren't following on TikTok yet, please do, because I don't really want to post a lot of TikToks, but I would like that to be another platform that we go live on and we stay live on just to draw in more audience. And they require you to have 1,000 followers there before you get access to go live. So I want to use live to build over there, so that's kind of backwards. It kind of sucks. But so if anyone can go follow on TikTok that hasn't yet, that would be awesome. Don't do it if you don't want to use TikTok, though. I understand. I only want to have it as another thing that OBS is pushing out to. So anyways, thanks everyone, and good night. Let's hit some buttons, and let's get out of here.